Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the museum, my media museum. And thank you for joining us today for part 47 of our A to Z sorted 45 RPM vinyl records collection. We're getting close to the end here, maybe 4 or 5 more episodes, wrap up these 7 boxes. And here we're starting off with the Trogs and Wild Thing. Yeah, this is funny timing actually for us, because just the other night the wife and I was watching Major League, the movie with Charlie Sheen. And this was his kind of theme song in that movie. Of course, it went way back long before that. And this is an earlier copy. Here in a minute, I'm going to show you a later edition of it on a different label. But this one, the B-side, was a song called From Home. And I want to take just a quick second to show off this sleeve here. Even though it doesn't match the vinyl, this isn't a sleeve that I remember having shared with you in the past. So I'll take just a second to show you that. And then we've got another pretty cool sleeve here for Dot. The nation's best-selling records. Ultra high fidelity. How cool is that? And this time we've got the Trogs doing Wild Thing on the Atco label, which was a division of Atlantic Records. And I'm pretty sure that this one is newer than the Fontana. I think the Fontana was the earlier release of it. And it's interesting that the B-side is in fact a different track here. We've got a song called With a Girl Like You. So they both say that they were recorded in England. One says produced in England and the other says recorded in England. But it's interesting to have the same song on 2 different distributors at 2 different times with 2 different B-sides. So next up, we've got a Twisted Sister picture sleeve here. Pretty cool motorcycle there. And Leader of the Pack, which was not a really great cover song for them. I absolutely loved the Stay Hungry album. They had a couple albums before that were also pretty good. But the Come Out and Play album was really weak. It really was. Love is for Suckers came out after that album. It was 10 times better. But I think the damage was done at that point. And Twisted Sister kind of just fell away after that. But this is a really cool vinyl to have, even though it's got a bit of that glue bleed through issue that we've recently discussed. Showing you the Leader of the Pack side there. And if I kick it up, you can see that there's actually no damage to the label. See the glare? It's just that glue bleeding through that's causing that. And I don't know why I've got so many in these 7 boxes of A to Z sorted that seem to be afflicted with that. But they are. So it's probably something to do with humidity and moisture and whatever. But the B-side of this was I Wanna Rock, which is rather interesting as well, because you'll notice here it says featuring the introduction from the I Wanna Rock video. So that's kind of interesting. Clearly this was a reissue of that song. I believe I Wanna Rock was a single off of the Stay Hungry album, and they just reused it there as the B-side for the Leader of the Pack cover song that they did. And I'm not real sure, I don't remember exactly, I should have looked it up so I could have shared it with you who Leader of the Pack was originally done by. I want to say the Shirelles, but I'm not even close to certain on that. But it was a 60s girl band song originally. And this next one up is an Atlantic Oldies series. And you'll see that it also has I Wanna Rock on it. About the same timing, 3 minutes 6 seconds, whereas on the last one it said 3 minutes and 3 seconds. So I'm assuming this has probably got that video intro on it as well, because like I said, this was not the original 45 release of I Wanna Rock for either one of these. It would have been originally released as a single from the Stay Hungry album, and they used it as the B-side Leader of the Pack, probably because they wanted to get that intro. The video was so popular and so big for them. They wanted to get that intro out there. So I'm assuming it was reused on the earliest series because that was rather popular video. And the B side, and or second A side, a lot of these oldie series were double A sides. We're Not Gonna Take It, which was their other really big song. We're Not Gonna Take It, and Stay I Wanna Rock was probably the two biggest, most popular songs off of Stay Hungry. Personally, myself, I loved Captain Howdy. I thought that was the greatest song on the entire album, but that whole album's really good. If you're a Twisted Sister fan, that's a must-have. I'd also recommend Love Is for Suckers because a lot of people missed out on that one because Come Out and Play was such a disappointment and so bad that a lot of people just decided to skip it. And their career kind of tanked after that. But Love Is for Suckers is a really great album as well. Next up, we've got a band that I'm not really much of a fan of, but they have their fans out there, quite a few of you. I actually put the wrong side down first, so sorry about that. But Desire is clearly the A-side. It's even marked the A-side off of Rattle and Hum. I do like Edge. He's a great guitarist, but overall, U2 is just not really my thing. The B-side of that, you already saw it a minute ago, but I'll go ahead and flip it over again just to keep the sequence right. Hallelujah, Here She Comes was on the B-side of that Island single. So next up, we've got a really cool early one. Really ugly looking sleeve there. It's got lots of stains and there's nothing printed on it, so no reason for me to slide it around. But Van Halen doing Dance the Night Away. Hey, hey, off of Van Halen 2. And this was definitely made for jukebox. This was a jukebox release. Van Halen was kind of like Led Zeppelin. They weren't known for doing a lot of singles early on. You don't find singles from the first and second album too much. It was later when they got really popular and they did some reissuing, mainly for jukeboxes, that we got these 45 singles. But you'll see it is dated 1979, so I'm not really sure if this 45 came out in 79. It was probably later, and 79 was just the year that Van Halen 2 came out. But B-side of this has got Out of Love Again, which was, all the early Van Halen songs were great. There weren't bad songs on them. Pretty much everything that David Lee Roth did with Van Halen was awesome. And I loved Sammy Hagar. I'm not going to get into the debate over Van Halen or Van Hagar. Here's the next one up's picture sleeve for Jump. And a little bit politically incorrect here with the baby angel, cherub, I think they call him, or whatever, smoking a cigarette. But Michael Anthony here, that's why I was leading into the talking about Sammy Hagar. And Michael Anthony has stayed with him. He was in Chickenfoot with him, and I believe he's part of the Circle. He's a great backup vocalist. He never got his real credit or due for that. But I liked Michael Anthony a lot. And I liked Van Hagar. Not as much as Van Halen. But I love Sammy Hagar. I like the solo work that Sammy's done. I've liked a lot of the stuff that he's done, throughout his career. And, it's not really worth debating. Van Halen was an awesome band with David Lee Roth, no doubt about it. Oh, Mr. Ego. He had his style. He had the voice. And he did some great, great work with them. But Sammy, I liked him better on his own. Anyways, here we got the label for Jump. And flipping it over, we've got House of Pain. And it's kind of interesting there because, you notice it's a little off-center looking. You get that a lot on 45s where the labels are not, lined up really well. But it just looks to me like the whole thing's a little shifted there. And moving on, next up, we've got some of that Van Hagar I was just discussing. And it's clearly marked the A-side, so we know Dreams was the A-side. Edward Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, Michael Anthony, and Alex Van Halen. All four of them got writers' credits on that one. 1986. But the B-side was a song called Inside, which was also off of the album. I don't think there were any singles that had exclusive tracks from the Van Halen or Van Hagar era, but there was definitely some soundtrack songs and some greatest hits tracks that were added that weren't on the original albums that you can find. But if you're a big fan of Van Halen, you're already aware of those. So here we've got an Atco sleeve and the vinyl matches, and it's quite a jump from Van Halen to The Hustle. And I probably should have moved this out. I pulled some discos aside that I'm planning on doing a episode on here in the not too distant future. But Van McCoy doing The Hustle, this is an original from when I was a kid. I bought this back in 1975 when it came out. It was a huge song, and not being a huge fan of disco, we've discussed this previous in a lot of videos, but there were songs that stood out. There were songs that were fun and that we all liked at the time, and The Hustle was one of them. Do 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 do. B-side being "Hey Girl, Come and Get It." All right. Next up, this one's a good one. This is one that for many, many years I thought this was the Rolling Stones. But it's not. It's Van Morrison doing Brown Eyed Girl. And just give me a break. Listen to it, Brown Eyed Girl. It definitely does sound like Mick Jagger to me. Yeah, I'm sure some Van Morrison fans out there going, oh, no way. But it's like misheard lyrics and things, 1973, Brown Eyed Girl. I used to think that was the Stones. B-side of this being Row, Row, Rosie. A Solid Gold label. Do you remember Solid Gold, the old TV show? Solid Gold Dancers. Yeah, that was definitely something from the disco era. All right, well, that wraps up episode 47 for us. I hope you come back and join me for episode 48. Have a wonderful day.